Hello everybody, my name is Ben. I put together the project health dashboard called Pulse. It's an editor tool that gives you insights on your project's health as far as unused assets, missing references, and other insights. Once you have Pulse installed, if you go to your window tab and go down to Pulse, you will see two options. I'm going to start with the dashboard, which is kind of your main tool to get a grading of your project. So here it is at an empty state. Typically when you come in here, you have a couple of options, but I typically go right to the rescan button, which will go ahead and give a scan of your project to let you know the status. So just going to let this run here. All right, so the scan's finished up, and this particular project that I dumped it in gave us a D rating, which means we have some stuff to clean up. So typically what you'll see is the script health, any missing references, the asset sizes, platform readiness, as well as any unused assets, build size estimates, and lastly, duplicate assets. So let's go ahead and fix some of these. As far as missing references, when you drop this down, you are greeted with all of the line items that are missing references. Each line, when you click it, will open the prefab with the issue, and it will go ahead and select the game object in the prefab with the problem. This one says the game object SM prop chest 1 with the component mesh collider is having a missing reference. So if we come over here, it already selected it when I clicked it, and we can see we have a missing mesh here. So if that's not something we care about, or if this is an asset we don't use, but we're fine with it, we can just click that ignore button, and it will drop down. Go ahead and go to the next one, and it will go ahead and open up that prefab and take you right where you need to be. Here's another one, for example. Looks like an animator is having an issue. I'm going to get out of this prefab, and it looks like we are missing an avatar in this particular prefab. So I find this particularly useful when assets get merged or things get moved around and the meta files get reset, or other things that might just happen and you not realize it until it's too late. So let's just say I want to ignore all of these that I don't really care. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And it's technically no longer an issue. If you ever want to reset your suppressions, you can go to Edit, Project Settings. Mine opened up off the screen. And you can go down and click Pulse. And Pulse has a bunch of different configurable settings that I'll get to in a little bit. But you can come down here and clear all suppressions, which will reset those assets back. Just like that. So if I rescan, they should show back up as issues. All right, and they're back, and I might have had more than I remembered, or more than last time. Oopsies. So I'm going to go ahead and re-ignore all of these, and then I'm going to go down to our asset sizes. It's going to show us all of the textures that have no compression settings on them. So you can click them and go through them and kind of decide for yourself what actually needs compression. But let's say you wanted to. This is an Android app. You can come in here, click fix, and it will apply high quality compression. So you could also come in here, click, fix to all, and it will go through this process of applying the high quality compression to all of them. All right, looks like that has finished up. I'm going to go ahead and run the rescan now that we fixed some of this stuff, and we should see our score move up, giving us a better valuation of the project. Yeah, and you can actually see right here that it told us we went 44 points worse on our second scan. All right, looks like we went up 19, and now that we've done a couple of scans, we now have a score history chart, which will help us track the project health over time. Now I'm going to go down to our platform readiness and see what we have going on here. All right, so this wants us to change this stripping setting, so I will go ahead and do that, and that shouldn't be a problem anymore. Next up, it looks like we have a lot of assets that aren't being used in here, and it wants us to delete them. I don't want to do that right now, so I'm just going to ignore it. But if you wanted to, you come here and say like this ship horn, for example. The ship horn, for example, we don't want it. Click fix, and it will go ahead and prompt you to delete. And now it is gone. Next up, we have the build size estimates, and this will give you an overview of what it thinks all of the build file sizes will be. Last but not least, we have duplicate assets. In the duplicate asset session, in order to see both files, you can click between the A and the B, and it will show you the file locations. So we have a textured version and an untextured version living in completely different sections of the project. Let's try a different one. It looks like we have a copy of Polygon prototypes and textures and a third-party Polygon prototypes, all found by the asset tool. I'm going to click fix, and if the file paths are the same length, it will give you an option of which one to keep. Let's just keep the A one, and after that, sometimes it will trigger a rescan. And after that, it considered us stable, which means we maintain the same score. I'm going to go ahead and tell this to fix all duplicates, and basically it's going to select the shortest path, and it's going to re-reference the B assets over to the A asset. All right, after it re-referenced all those changes, it's going to run another scan, and for some reason, it went down. Let's check back up on this. Another tool I wanted to show was the asset tree map. Inspired by the Unity memory profiler, you get a tree map that allows you to visually see the size difference of different assets within your project. I have a different project I want to show for this example just because I know it has some more drastic file differences. So I'll come in here, go ahead and open up the asset tree map. and go ahead and scan. And you can see here, based off different categories, my all sky space and other planets is my biggest assets in this project. And there it is right there in all of its glorious looks. So if you feel like you don't understand why your project is big, this is a good way to look into it. Now, talking about the settings, I wanted to bring them back up and mention that you are able to set these thresholds all individually, as well as your grading scale to whatever you prefer the most. You're also able to change the weighting preferences between all of these categories in case you don't care about one of them and you really care about one of the others. You can also include folders that will get ignored, as well as limits to warn you when builds get above a certain threshold. Something you can do as well is enable the deep scene scan. This will open up all the scenes when you scan and walk through each scene and check for reference issues. This package also has CI/CD support, which allows you to run this from the command line so you can put it within your build pipeline. And if you feel like completely disabling categories, you can do that down here. I'm going to run a scan so we can see what the scene assets do. Looks like the script health is having an issue. Let's see what's going on here. Pulse will pick up if you have a compile error sitting in the Unity console. All right, after clearing the console, we went back up to a higher D, which is pretty cool. Script health is the second highest weighting on the scale, so that's why that impacted it so much. But yeah, that's a quick little overview of Pulse and what it's capable of. Hope this was able to give you enough detail for you to decide if this asset was right for you. If you made it this far, I hope this video was useful enough for you to help you decide if this asset is right for you. Cheers.